Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the 2nd of November, and the temperature's definitely gone down. A little bit of freezing, snow, ice, rain yesterday, so all the fun weather. Looks like winter's going to come whether we like it or not. So, a bit about the topics of the day. I was talking with a friend of mine with whom I also post my articles, and he was telling me in his networks that they had an expert who was posting an article about how violence is breaking out in Belize. And he tells the guy, well, what do you mean violence is breaking out in Belize? Oh no, my sources are telling me that, after a meeting they were stampeding and, violence and police and all that. He's like, wait a minute. Stas is there filming right now. There is no violence. But my sources, I got a guy there filming right now. There is no violence. It's there's not much energy in that whole protest. So, you got to watch. Well, you got to watch out from all sides how much truth there really is. And do the checks. Trust your sources. And some of those sources are going to screw you, unfortunately. I mean, one of the Russian TV stations I was interviewed by. I mean, the old saying, if it bleeds, it leads. Yeah, same thing. Well, it's not only for U.S. media, Western media. Like, well, was there at least one store that was robbed or pillaged? Like, no, there were no stores robbed and pillaged. They're so depressed. Everything didn't turn into a fiery shitstorm. Like, well, no, it didn't. So, I guess they were so pumped up to sell. Here it comes. We're going to have a lot of talk about for the next months or so. But they didn't. At least not so far. Now, I don't think it's totally over. The powers that be aren't prepared to give up Georgia. And you already have the U.S. State Department threatening regime change in Georgia. Of course, they're also threatening Orban with regime change, as is the EU. So that's very interesting. That they're now going directly after member states who aren't ideal slaves to their system. So any pretenses of some kind of democracy, people's choice, or whatever, the war with Ukraine has removed the masks. And not just the masks toward Russia, but all the Western masks, including the masks about so-called democracy, about so-called human rights, so-called everything. All the people have to do is actually just look. The fortunate thing for the slave owners is the peasants or the slaves on the plantation mostly won't look, unfortunately. But that's how it is. So anyways, I don't know how much longer we'll be doing the videos during the walks, because it's getting cold and the phone itself will just start switching off. Phones don't like cold, so that's one of those little things. But and speaking of which, fakes. I got taken in by a deep fake of Candace Owens that she was converting to Orthodoxy. So basically, they had the whole video of her talking, and it's really her video, except what she says she's converting to Catholicism. They defaked it into Orthodoxy. And yeah, I fell for it. I reposted on my channel. But then, it fed into my own ego. Oh, good, she's going Orthodox. Should have checked. So that's how easy it is, really. For people who should know better, like myself, you still get caught. So, and that's how that keeps rolling. So yeah, new interesting articles are coming out right now too, about what Trump's going to do if he comes to power. And one of them is that, he's going to call up Putin, and he's going to demand Russia remove troops from now Russian territories by the time Trump comes to his inauguration. Okay, and demand all you want. You know what you're going to get told? Go pound sand. Because, Putin is not going to remove troops. First of all, he can't. This is the problem with Americans and Westerners in general. They're absolutely psychopathically in a state of utter hatred of Putin. So they can't negotiate. They won't negotiate because, they'd have to eat their own liver before they do that. And two, they really have zero clue about the Russian structure. They've convinced themselves that Putin is a dictator that can do whatever he wants. And he'll just explain it to people why we gave up everything. Yeah, okay. Well, no, he can't. And there's a constitution. And the constitution says those territories are Russian. And not a single square centimeter can be given up. It's anybody who pushes for dividing Russian territory, giving it away, what have you, is a traitor. So no, it's not going to happen. Trump's going to get his first big realization of reality smacking him again in the face if he ever comes to power. And considering all you people who are going, oh, Trump's gonna drain the deep state. Yeah, Pompeo, looks like Pompeo is going to be back. The deep state's coming right back into Trump's office again. And you can't say this time, oh, he didn't know the people that were around him. Yeah, okay. Pompeo's back in power with Trump. And you tell me again, Trump doesn't know what Pompeo is. Pompeo's the guy on his farewell tour who was pushing the Georgians in 2021 and 2020 to start a war with Russia so they can fight a guerrilla war and drain Russian resources and, you know, commits national suicide while we're at it. That's Pompeo. So if you think anything's going to get better, if that's the people that Trump's pulling back in, yeah, right. Drago, come here. Drago, now. I mean, keep dreaming is what it comes down to. Your democracy ain't a democracy, and you ain't going to go work. But then again, I don't think Trump's ever going to get anywhere near the White House. Look, there was a great little clown world moment where Channel 16, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was testing their channels, and they popped up the end score screen for Camilla won, and they had the vote down to the last person, last vote counted. So yeah, there's your democracy. Well, I'm sure they'll change the screen a little bit now that they've screwed up and popped it up ahead of time. That's kind of like the third tower in the world, in the Twin Tower area that collapsed, and it was announced, that was 30 minutes before it collapsed, and it collapsed. Accidentally, of course, announced. Of course, that the tower wasn't hit by anything, it collapsed. That should have raised quite a few questions right off the bat for anybody who's paying attention. So yeah, so there's that. So where are we going with this? Well, it's going to be interesting. I'm personally stocking up on popcorn. I'm going to be up at 6 in the morning giving commentary on the U.S. elections on the 6th. So I'm going to be having a very busy day. I'm pretty sure of that, starting from very, very early on. So it's the circus of the year, you could say. And where it goes after that, well, you know, no matter who wins, you get violence in the streets, particularly if anything even looks close. The BLM crowd hasn't gone away. All these guys haven't gone away. They're on a moment's notice to be switched on, and they'll be out and about. So there you go. Okay, this is going to be a short one. I'll record a longer one later on. My hands are freezing. I should have brought better gloves. All right, cheers.